This is like a little bit of a call out to any of you girls that are like comparing yourself to these supermodels who have professionals do their makeup and it takes hours. And you're like, how come my 5-minute makeup doesn't look as good? Most girls struggle to feel beautiful in high school and frankly, throughout their whole young adulthood. And so today's video, I'm gonna share with you practical, like step-by-step tips on how to feel more beautiful, but also some like mindset and personal development tips to help you feel more beautiful as a teenager, because this is something that I feel like if we can figure out, like the younger, the better, right? Because women of all ages really struggle to feel beautiful. So let me share with you some of the tips that have helped me like feel more confident and beautiful in my own skin, because as a teenager, I definitely did not feel that way. Oh man, self-esteem, feeling beautiful, feeling confident all the time. It really, like high school, I feel like is some of your highest highs and your lowest lows, and it can change in a second. And so I wanna share with you some tips to level out your self-esteem and to help you feel more beautiful on a daily, consistent level. And the very first area that you've gotta focus on is liking yourself as a person. Yes, this has a huge impact on how beautiful you feel physically. And that's if you like yourself, if you like who you are as a person. Because if you deep down inside know that you aren't a very nice person, or that you think you aren't a very good person, or that you're mean, or like there's something about yourself that you really can't sit with and like, that's gonna reflect and manifest itself in the fact that you're not gonna think that you're very beautiful or that you're very worthy or worthy of love. And the way that kind of the media and the world perceives like your worthiness can be through your beauty. And so we get that really tied up. And so it's really important that you like who you are and you like who you're becoming, because I understand that at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, you don't know exactly who you are, and you're still developing and growing into your personality. And that's okay, as long as you feel like you can genuinely sit with the person that you are. Can you spend time with yourself? Are there areas of your personality where you need to work on it a little bit? You will find that as you dive into the deeper inside layer of, do I like who I am and who I am as a person and who I'm becoming, that will start to reflect in how you see yourself on the outside. And you'll start to see yourself with more love and grace and compassion. And you'll start to like who you see on the outside when you can like who you see on the inside. Okay, the second tip for you is a little bit more day-to-day practical, and that is to focus on what you love. I talk about this in all of my self-esteem videos because I feel like it's so important to find what you love about yourself and really focus on it. Because we have a natural tendency to go to the opposite extreme, where we only focus on what we don't like about ourselves. So I want you today, pull out your phone right now, pause this video, make a list of what you love about yourself. And like we talked about in this first tip, include things that are inside things, that are personality things, and then also include things that are on the outside, like, I love my brown eyes. I think I've got really great lips. And then also put things like, I love my drive and determination. I love that I'm really good at soccer. Or just put down a list of what you love about yourself, because we want those things at the forefront of our mind instead of the things that we constantly think about that we don't like about ourselves. So when I was in high school, I've shared this in so many videos, I hated my hair. I really did. I really struggled with it. I felt like it was too short. It was too choppy. It was just, everything was wrong with it. And I obsessed over it. Obsessed to the point that I couldn't think of anything else that I liked about myself because I didn't like my hair. So I wish I'd had that tip and wrote down everything I loved about myself, because I genuinely can't think back and say, well, in high school, I liked these things about myself. When I look back, I can only see what I didn't like about myself because I focused on them so intently. As you are focusing on those good things, be sure that you cut off negative thoughts. Now, you're like, Abbi, I need more like practical beauty advice. And I'm here to tell you that until we fix our mindset and our mind and what we think when we look in the mirror, it doesn't matter if you look like a freaking supermodel or if you feel like you don't measure up in some way. Like, your mind will always tell you what negative thoughts that you've told about yourself all day, every day. And so cut off those negative thoughts. When you feel yourself in math class saying, oh my gosh, my hair looks so weird today, my curls did not turn out, you say, no, oh, I love my eyes. I feel like I look really great in my leopard sweater today. Like, you cut off those thoughts and you don't let them proceed. Because I get DMs and texts and comments from young women that are across the gamut. I get messages from girls that say, Abbi, I'm so skinny that people make fun of me and I'm not curvy and I don't have a butt and I don't have boobs and I just don't feel very feminine. And then I get comments that say, Abbi, I'd love to lose weight. I have too much booty. I feel like people only notice me for my curves. And I look at that and we handle each situation, but isn't it amazing that one person can look in the mirror and say, oh my gosh, I hate how skinny I am. And the next person can look in the mirror and say, I hate how curvy I am. It's totally mindset. And they're not more beautiful than the other person. One body type's not more beautiful than the other body type. So stop your negative train of thought, because I get, as somebody that spent my whole high school career hating my hair, that train of thought was powerful. It was strong because I constantly went to it. So with cutting off the negative thoughts, I want you to start to blur those lines in your brain that say hair bad, shoulders too sharp, right? Whatever your thing is, let's start to blur those lines. And we do that by cutting off that negative train of thought. And so when I'm starting to get that thought of, oh, I don't like my hair, it's not curling right today, it's just too long, it's too messy, it's too whatever, I stop that. And I say, nope, I'm so grateful for my hair. I'm so grateful for its length. I'm so grateful for what it is. I sure love that, I feel really confident in my body today. I love my eyes. I love how my eyebrows turned out. Like, just go through your list, and it might seem silly, but it's a split-second decision that can help you start to erase that negative train of thought. Because I'm going to stress this again and again and again in this video, until you believe it on the inside, you're not going to feel beautiful on the outside. Here's one of my practical beauty tips for you that I swear by, I live by. That's what I do all the time. Find your best look. Now, I think we live in the most amazing day and age, and there's a reason I think YouTube's the coolest thing in the whole world. You have the knowledge of any expertise, any wisdom, any discipline out there in a video for free. How insane is that? How come I get to type in styles for long hair and I get to interact virtually, right? Watching their video with a stylist who's been doing women's hair for 10 years, right? And I get a gleam from their knowledge and his wisdom or her wisdom. I just think that's so incredible. So I want to encourage you to find your best look, to look up YouTube videos on makeup, on hair, on style. Those are some of my favorite videos to watch. And I'm going to be so honest with you, I don't feel like I found my best look yet. And that's okay. And we're going to talk about that in another tip, but it's so fun, especially as a teen, especially as a youth, to try all your different looks. One thing that I love that I did in high school, and it's a total personality thing, I dyed my hair every color of the rainbow that you can think of. And so it's fun to look back at those pictures and say, oh, this is a little bit too dark for my skin tone, for my, aesthetic, for the vibe that I'm going for. So that's a little bit too dark. This is a little bit too light. Oh, I kind of like more of this, but can I mix it with this? I would encourage you to look back at photos of yourself when you're in the right mindset of being positive and kind and say, oh, man, I really liked it when I did this blue eyeshadow. Man, I really want to try this hairstyle that this YouTuber suggested. Maybe I try, doing these things. I feel like too many girls don't realize that beauty is evolving, beauty is changing, and that you should just find your best look. And I'm a big believer too that like I have a heart-shaped face, and so I'm learning that like, oh hey, I bangs that kind of frame my forehead in a little bit help me to look more evenly proportioned, and I like that look, right? We don't have to take somebody's advice just because they are an expert. We're the expert in us. We're the expert on our face and what we think is beautiful. So I'd encourage you to have fun, to go research, to go look up, and to put together Pinterest boards of saying, well, what's my ideal style? What do I love about my style now? And what do I want to change? What do I love about myself? And can I amplify it? What are lipstick colors that'll look good on me? Just find your look and know that it's continually evolving. Okay, this tip is huge, and that is to foster respect for your body. Too often, I have to coach young women away from this idea that our body has value because of the way it looks. And that's not true. Our body has value because it is, because of what it does for us, because of the life that it supports for us. And so when we start to think, well, my body's only valuable if it weighs a certain amount of pounds, my body's only valuable if my bra size is this big, my body's only valuable if it's deemed as sexy or like beautiful, that's not true. That is a lie. And that is something that can really devastate your internal concept of beauty, because our bodies have value regardless of our size, our shape, our weight. And this took me having a baby to really grasp this concept, And so I want to encourage you as a teen to just honor and respect your body. And that starts with things as simple as, I'm so grateful that I feel good today. I'm so grateful that I have these legs that carry me from class to class. I'm so grateful that I have hands that can type up my assignments and a brain that can think. And I mean, one exercise that might help you with this is to remember what it's like to feel sick. To remember what it's like, when I've broken a finger, I've broken my nose twice. And I think back on those moments, and it always gives me so much respect and like humbling a little bit to think, oh my goodness, I hated, it was this finger. I hated when my finger was in a cast. Like it made things so much harder. And so I'm so grateful that my finger healed and that I can do all the things with my hands that I need to. Same with my nose. Like I'm so grateful that those bones after surgery, went back together, and that I can breathe again, and that I can taste again. And like, it sometimes takes us losing those things to really appreciate them. So I just want to encourage you, like, remember the last time you were sick and you kept coughing and you wondered to yourself, when will I ever stop coughing? Just to start to harbor this respect for your body and to get away from that thought that our body's only valuable if it meets a certain criteria or size or shape, because that's totally not true. Our body is valuable just for being there. Affirmations and mindset. Do not overlook this tip when it comes to trying to feel more beautiful as a teenager, because what we tell ourselves in and over every single day, what our mind tells us when we look in the mirror, has a great effect on our outward self and our outward beauty. And just think about it like this. When was the last time that you felt super beautiful and really hot when you went to school? Maybe somebody said a comment. Maybe these guys couldn't keep their eyes off of you, right? Like something happened that made you feel a little bit more confident or beautiful, and it was a good day, right? You felt more confident, you were more flirty, you just had a really great day, and it might even felt like you got 100% on your math test. It's just like the universe aligned and you felt so great that day. What's the difference between that day and the day when you don't feel beautiful and when you feel super self-conscious and you just hope that nobody notices you and you can slink out the door and go home? You're the same girl. You have the same capacity for beauty and greatness in both situations. So let's start to treat ourselves and act like we're that beautiful, confident person all the time, regardless if we're in sweats and no makeup or if we look like we're ready to go to prom. And that happens by saying affirmations to yourself of things like, I love myself. I am the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. I feel beautiful. I love who I am. I am beautiful. I know that those are going to sound really silly. You're going to say those to yourself in the mirror and you're going to just want to dart away from your eyes. But this starts to lay the groundwork, right? Because we're destroying those negative train of thoughts that are super strong and super thick and connected in our brain. We're destroying those and we're replacing them with these positive thoughts. And I'm going to stress this to you over and over and over and over again. There's no difference between you at your most beautiful and you at what you deem as your lowest. You're the same person. You have the same features. You have the same weight, right? Those things that we think matter, like, well, I was in a cuter outfit or my hair and makeup looked better, they maybe account for 1% of what people see about us. What people see about us is our radiance, our charm, our personality, and our confidence. So be sure to work on, telling yourself these affirmations of, I'm the most beautiful girl in the world. I love myself. I feel beautiful. I am beautiful. Because it's going to help with this whole mindset that you're a beautiful individual day in and day out. And it's going to take some time. It's going to take some building up. I remember in college was the first time that somebody told me that I should be saying, I'm the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. What was my exact one? I'm the most gorgeous girl I've ever seen. That's what I would say to myself on my drive to college. And I had to look myself in my rearview mirror because I'm driving, right? And I'm trying to be safe, so I'd have to look myself in the rearview mirror and say it. And at first I couldn't. I felt so weird. I felt so vain. I felt so awkward. And so I'd look, I'm the most gorgeous girl I've ever seen, But it got more and more easier to say. And I eventually got to a point where I could say it enthusiastically. And it just helped me. It helped me remember that I am beautiful and that I do have confidence and that I can love who I am. And my beauty doesn't take away from your beauty. This tip my little sister gave to me one time in high school, and it was a hard truth to swallow, but it's take the time. I remember, so my little sister's always just been a makeup guru. She took that advice way before I knew it of find your best look, go and learn how to do makeup, go and learn how to style your body type. And so she was so good at makeup. And so one day I asked her, I said, Izzy, I just feel like I'm really struggling with my makeup. It's all over the place. And some days I look good, days I don't, and blah, blah, blah. And she just flat out looked at me and she said, well, hey, I watch all these YouTube videos. Do you do that? And I was like, yeah, I love all those YouTube videos. And then she looked at me and she goes, well, how much time are you spending doing your makeup? And I was like, I don't know. I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm trying to get out the door. I'm trying to go to work. 10 minutes, 15. And she's like, Abbi, it takes me a long time to do my makeup. And she's like, for me, it's something I love. It's a routine that I've just gotten behind. And for me, it's such a fun part of my day that I don't mind taking time to do my makeup. But she's like, that's why my eyeshadow looks so great. I've taken the time to do it. And that really hit me hard because it was just this reality that my makeup looked kind of sloppy because I was doing it in 5 minutes. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when I was comparing my 5-minute makeup to her 30-minute makeup, there's a big difference because the difference is time. The difference is just taking the time to organize and put your outfits together. So I want to encourage you to take the time that you want to take. If 5-minute makeup is your thing, go for it. If no makeup is your thing, go for it. But I remember in high school thinking to myself oh, I really don't like my hair, right? And then one day I thought, well, how often am I actually doing my hair in the way that I like it, which was I liked to curl it. And so I realized that I didn't do that because I was worried about the time it would take and the heat on my hair and all those things. And so one day I was just forget it. I'm going to take the time and do my hair today. And guess what? I felt really beautiful and confident in my hair that day because I took the time to do it. So this is like a little bit of a call out to any of you girls that are like comparing yourself to these supermodels who have professionals do their makeup and it takes hours. And you're like, how come my 5-minute makeup doesn't look as good? Because we got to trade, right? There's a trade. There's a trade for everything. So if you want to, like, think about this. When you go to prom, I mean, I'd spend hours getting ready, and that was like part of the fun of it. And yeah, I'd feel super beautiful and confident by the end of it. And that's because I took the time. Now, we can't do that every single day for school, but maybe see if you aren't giving yourself enough time to do the things that you would like to do when it comes to your confidence and beauty routine, because sometimes it's as simple as just realizing that we're not making a fair trade. So be sure that you are putting in that time to get yourself to the level of confidence that you want to feel that day. Okay, this tip is huge, and it's know that you will always improve. I say this like to my old, beautiful high school Abbi, who was so worried about my hair and just so worried about my skin and my acne and all the things. And I just say, you know what? Life gets better and your acne gets better. And yes, I'm in my mid-20s and I still have acne, but it's way better than it was in high school, right? You get better, you figure out your looks, you figure out your features, you grow into your features. So just know that you can feel totally beautiful and confident the way that you are. And also know that you're gonna grow and change, and you're gonna look back and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I dyed my hair fire engine red. What was I thinking, right? And then I'm gonna look back now and be like, wow, the way that I curled my hair today really did not work. And so you're always improving. And that's actually why I wanted to do this video. Is I really did not like the way that my hair turned out today with I tried a new way to curl it, and that I learned from a YouTube video, right? And I didn't like it. And so guess what? Tried it. Maybe I'll try it again. Maybe I'll try a couple different tricks, but I'm always improving, and I'm trying to learn and expand on my body, what I think is beautiful, and how God designed me to be. So you're always going to be improving, and just know that, hey, we're trying to find our best look, right? And beauty is going to always be evolving, because I like to think about it this way. If I did my hair and makeup the same way that I did in high school, I probably wouldn't feel like myself right now. Or even think about the way that your grandma does her hair and makeup. You wouldn't want to do that on a teen, because we're just different. We're at a different stage of life. We're at different things that we're feeling confident or less confident about. So just know you're always going to be improving, and your look's always going to be changing. Okay, babes, there you have it. Those are some of my practical and also personal development internal tips on how to feel more beautiful as a teenager, because I get this. I was there, and I've spent way too many years of my life not feeling beautiful just because it was a mindset. Just because I wasn't seeing myself clearly. I wasn't seeing myself the way that God sees me. I wasn't seeing myself that I can change and have this potential, and then I'm just learning and growing. So I hope these tips help you out, and please leave me a comment down below if you have a question about maybe some affirmations you should try. Please subscribe so that you don't miss a video on how to master high school and create the life of your dreams as a teenager. So I cannot wait to see you in my next video, beautiful babe. Abbi J out.